So, preparing for a systemic collapse, something I've actually been doing for years. And this week I've been reading Nassim Taleb's book, and for those of you that don't know, Anti-Fragile. One of the topics I wanted to touch on today is something I think that's extremely important. And it's not always about what you add to your life in these moments, but it's what you remove that becomes the most powerful. These quotes of the ideas, I'm just as proud of the things that I haven't done as the things that I have done. And my whole time building out here in Costa Rica, the production of this weird and abstract idea that one day the financial system might collapse and the supply chain might break, a lot of people looked at me as crazy. But what we can see behind me is around 7,500 liters of stored water coming from my private well, and another, let's see, 2,500 liter water tank right there that is my reserve. So that if anything ever goes wrong and I didn't notice that I ran out of my 7,500 liters, I have another 2,500 liters that gives me approximately a month to fix the shit that's broken, because it is a gravity fed well, and get my life together. This ability to remove things was also the ability to remove what I needed from others. Not just removing something from my life, but removing the necessity of having to rely on, say, water treatment plants or someone else's water in these times. The state that we're going into now, I think more and more so requires that people go into a state of less. And the idea of less is more here is going to become extremely powerful. I think that quarantining, self-isolation, social distancing, this is going to become the norm, and probably for quite some time. Getting used to that takes practice. I've been stocking up for weeks. I've been practicing already, not shaking hands, keeping my distance. Every time I go out, I go through a protocol of disinfecting myself when I come back. Probably overkill, not necessary yet, but this time in life, I'm not at risk. But if I don't take precautions, I put others at risk. It is actually societally respectful to do these things, and that's what I meant in my N95 mask video, that masks are important because it protects others from me. If I am asymptomatic and I do not know that I'm potentially sick, I don't want to get others sick. And I think that as we move forward into this time, as the younger generations really start to understand the implications of what this means, because this is not just a recession, this is likely going to be a depression. This is likely going to be years of downward momentum and a long, slow climb back upwards. This is not like a 2008 V-shaped recovery. This is much more, I would say this is akin to the 1930s depression. That where we come out of this on the other side is going to be extremely productive. So I've had, a lot of you guys send me messages about how I've been preparing, asking me questions. One of the best things I think we can do is start to remove the unnecessary from our life. Unnecessary gatherings, unnecessary times to go out, and take a severely strong presence in life, to stop, to slow down, to go out in nature more, to remember to be grateful for the things that you already have. I've been saying that in my videos for so long, and it's like a great catch line, but actually living that way, actually taking those moments to break down what you've built and remove the things that no longer serve you. That's just as positive as adding things to your life. And I think that that's what a lot of us should be taking from this. In the self-quarantine times, don't go out. I mean, if you're in a big city, this is going to be a lot more difficult. You don't have the free roaming jungle that I do. Like I'm walking across my property right now. I've got hundreds of fruit trees out here. I've got over 10,000 liters of water storage. I'm capable of surviving with very little. In fact, you could remove a lot of the things from my life. I've thought about it, what happens if there's no more electricity? Oh, wow. This is so cool. Hold on. Check this out. It's a body of a praying mantis. Hold on, let's zoom in on that. Can we get that properly? Yes, look at the body of this praying mantis. Anyways, to go out and to discover this removal of the unnecessary in life. It is productive for so many reasons. The next big step, I think, is going to understand the consequences of these long-term changes. The removal of these unnecessary things that we've gotten so used to kind of always having. I've been contemplating how many times I've been able to fly to all these beautiful countries and try out all this new food, all the instruments I have. And this ability to focus by removal is a very powerful sentiment, and that's what I think is so fundamental and beautiful about where we are right now, is that we're getting into a time where your ability to remove certain things from your life is going to help others. And you may actually be put in a position where you have to help others. You know, I've got this beautiful farm here, as you can see around me. Some of you asked about like, oh, there's only your greenhouse. I've got 2 acres. I've got 150 fruit trees, from avocado, cacao, all these different fruits. So don't worry, it's not just my tomatoes that I'm growing. There's a lot more on here. Medicinal plants, everything from ayahuasca. You have all these functionals. I cut down about 10 trees the other day. I've got firewood for the next 6 to 7 months if need be. And going back to the simplicity of life, you know, a country like Costa Rica is fairly anti-fragile. It was only maybe 10 years ago in this area where I live where they brought a road in. There was no road here before. So a lot of the people that live here are used to living kind of off the land, being able to walk around, just pick a berry from the tree and enjoy nature. So this is going to get tough. I suspect it's going to be tough for a few years. If you have a portfolio, you can protect it. You can actually make money off of this. I'm going to suggest that people have cash on hand, just in case there's a lockup in the economic system, which is likely. It's something I've done. Again, we've got banana, cacao, more bananas. This jungle is so fruitful. I'm dismissed to say that I'm going to be producing videos for as long as I can. I do hope that the common infrastructure stays open. So for all those people that say this is no worse than the flu, you need to shut your goddamn mouths, because you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. People that think this is a hoax, you have no idea what you're talking about. A good friend of mine who's a very well-educated doctor in New York says one of his friends has caught the COVID-19 disease, again, which is the progression of the virus of SARS-CoV-2. This is now only 2 to 3 people away from what you know. In the next month, you will know someone that has this virus. So take it seriously. Pandemics have always been on our list of things that could drastically fuck shit up. For those of you that don't know, this tree above me is called Mimosa hostilis. It is one of the visionary plants that the DMT is extracted from in a lot of traditional cultures. We've got a bunch more trees like lemon and like mangosteen. There's just an endless amount of food on the property here. And the jungle itself is abundant like that. So what I try to do with the jungle here is remove things from my life, and actually more so remove my need for other people to provide for me those things in my life. Tell your family that you love them. Always do that. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. This is Tea with the Arcane Bear. I'm going to keep you updated. I think we're just going to do more of these walks and talks instead of the charting videos. We will still do that for all the private bear members. We'll make sure everyone's up to date. I went short Bitcoin at 7,600, went fantastically. But again, that was just to hedge my portfolio. So essentially I made more Bitcoin but didn't lose any US dollars. And again, you know, these are trying circumstances. Money may not be worth anything in the next 18 months. So I wouldn't worry too much about how much capital you do or do not have. If this gets really bad, I don't think it'll make a difference. Your social skills, your ability to help others, your desire to want to help others, that is going to become the ultimate currency over the next few months. So this is Tea with the Arcane Bear. I'm signing off for the rest of the day. Thank you guys for supporting us. This is a crazy ride. And as you can tell, I'm going into cowboy mode. I might even go buy a horse this week. Could use a horse for only a few $100. Could you imagine me on a horse with like a machete doing this? I think that's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time Tio gets a horse.